Hi. Every time I come here, people ask me why I have a mustache. And it's important that you put the emphasis on the right syllable when you pronounce mustache. I want to tell you the story of how this came about. It was years ago. I was riding my motorcycle, and 90 and a 55, some pissed off cop pulls me over and he says to me, why are you going so fast? And I told him honestly, I'm going to Afghanistan tomorrow and I'm just trying to blow off some steam. And he tears off the ticket and looks me in the eye and says, you're going to have to pay this online, man. So no mercy at all, right? So I was like, you know what, I've got to do something about this. So it's true, I am in the military, so you're welcome for my service. So I grew this mustache as a way to sort of give off cop vibes. You know, I'm not law enforcement, but I identify as law enforcement adjacent. So, while I couldn't be a cop, maybe if they needed a greeter at a DUI checkpoint or something, I could do that, and I want them to be able to see me and identify with that. My wife, on the other hand, she never gets tickets. She's cute, she's flirty, she's fun, so she got pulled over, and this is a true story, she got pulled over going 50 miles an hour in a school zone with expired tags, no license. And the cop pulls her over, and she just smiles and grins, and oh my gosh, I can't believe it, I forgot all about this. And he practically proposes to her. He's like, I'm sorry, ma'am, you go ahead on your way, and, great shoes, by the way. So she, as I say, she never gets these tickets, but she does think about her shoes quite often. She, as we were getting ready to come here tonight, she said, I don't like these shoes, they're not flirty enough. And being a man of this modern age, I go to therapy, I'm a sensitive guy, so I asked her, are the shoes still venting, or are they ready for the solution phase? She didn't really resonate with that, so we had to move on. But no, the reason she thinks about shoes so much is because she had foot surgery, and so she's got to have the shoes that are just right for her feet. So she had this foot surgery, and they put her in a wheelchair for a couple of months. And while she's in this wheelchair, she went to cheer herself up by getting a spunky haircut. So she told the hairdresser that she wanted it to be 4 inches long. And the hairdresser pulls out the clippers and put on the number 4 attachment instead, and buzzed her hair right off. So now she's in a wheelchair and she's bald. And terrible for her. She was very depressed, so I was like, why don't I take you out to dinner? So I'm rolling her in a wheelchair and she's bald, and everyone's looking at us like I'm taking her on her farewell tour from cancer. And trying to get her these unlimited breadsticks for the last time in her life, and it's been a real struggle. So people come up to us and they're like, I'm so sorry, you guys, stay strong. My wife's like, do not correct them. I'm like, I'm not. I'm enjoying this. We're just carrying on like this. As I was thinking about how bummed out she was, I was realizing this is not a normal depression. This is a great depression, And it made me think that maybe we assigned that word too soon. No offense to 1929, but now we've got 3 degrees, and you're holding down 4 jobs, and you've got 5 therapy apps, but none of them work unless you have to also journal. So it's kind of a struggle with all of that, right? There's this guy, have you heard about this guy? And this is a real story. He swiped right 2 million times before he got a single date. Have you heard of this guy? At some point you're training the algorithm to feel bad for you, right? That's what that ChatGPT is doing for you at this point. There's another word that I think the media just kind of dropped out there with no exit strategy, and that's mad cow disease. Now, when mad cow disease came out, it was a panic. Everyone was worried. You got these cows going insane, and all these scientists are worried, is it going to jump to humans? Well, it clearly did, but we call it PMS. Now, look, I'm not saying it's the same, but there's all the warning signs are there. There's the irrational rage, there's the desperate for salt, all these kind of weird things going on. So anyway,